Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you how to create a dynamic drop-down list using Ajax. So what is dynamic drop-down list? It's a drop-down list that depends on something. As you can see right now, the value of the second drop-down list is depend on the value of the first drop-down list. So we are going to populate our drop-down list with data from our database. So the first thing we are going to do is we will create a database, and then secondly we will create a form which contains two drop-down lists, and then the third one we will connect it together. Okay, so let's create a database. I name it as a tools and create, and then we create two tables, which is the first one is country and the number of column is 2, and I'll give a name for the first column as CID, which is country ID, and then we will check the auto increment. Okay, and then the second one is the city and the number of column is 3. We need to create a foreign key for the country table so that we can make a relationship to that table. Mr. Sorel, I'm using Salam text editor, and then I need you to create a new file which is index.php and connection.php. Now we are creating our index.php, so I'll give a title drop-down Ajax, and then create a div with the class country and create a drop-down list. So I name it as a country, and then I create a list of 4. This is just a demo to show you how it will look like. So we create two drop-down lists. The first one is country and the second one is city. We need to give a name for the drop-down list, which is the first one is country and the second one is city. Okay, let's take a look. City. Okay, so this is our boilerplate for the drop-down list. So we'll style it a bit so that it is easier to see. So we are going to populate the first drop-down list. We are going to populate our first drop-down list using PHP. Okay, same goes to the second drop-down list, but the second drop-down list is quite different from the first one because the second one will depend on the first drop-down list. So we will do it later using Ajax. Alright, so we will create a connection to our database. As usual, we are using MYSQL connect method or function. And the first one is our host name, our username, and then our database name, which is toots Okay, after that we will check our connection whether it's a success or not. We will check if MySQL connect error number. Then if it has an error, it will echo fail to connect and display the error message. Okay, so let's try it out. If it has an error, it will show a message, else it will show a blank page and the connection has met successfully. Now we need to include our connection.php file in our index.php so that we can make a query and retrieve the data from our database into this page. Okay, so we are going to populate this select tag that is in PHP. So we make a query which is select all from table country, and then we need to oh, I forgot to create a variable for MySQL connect function. We need to create a variable so that we can create a connection to our database. And then we need to iterate each of the results using for each. The thing that we need to look is the option tag. So we need to create a separate PHP tags in between the option tag, and then we will insert the PHP value into the option tag. Okay, so our first drop-down list has created successfully. We are retrieving our data from our database and populate the data inside our drop-down list. So we are going to create the second drop-down list, which is the drop-down list that depend on the value of the first drop-down list. This is done using Ajax. Since you already know, Ajax is a technique that allow us to manipulate something without refreshing our page. Ajax is a jQuery function. We will use jQuery to perform this Ajax call. So let's create a function. If it has a change on the drop-down list, we'll get the selected value on the list, which is the value that we assign just now. Each drop-down list has a value 1, 2, 3, and 4, which is the CID. Okay, so we will get that value and we will pass the value to our Ajax. to the URL, which is getData.php. This is the file where we make a query for the second drop-down list, and then data is the parameter, which is CID equal, and we concat it with the value. If it's success, it will run this function. The second drop-down list, so we need to give an ID to the second drop-down list, which is city list, and then we use jQuery CDN version of the jQuery. So go to jQuery.com and head to download and copy the CDN version, and then paste it before the Ajax function. I'm done. This is a dynamic drop-down list, which is the drop-down list is depend on each other. Right, I think that's all from me. If you like this video, hit the like button, and if you have a question, please let me know in the comment below. Please don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.